Let's go over 3 main changes and feature enhancements that I would like to see added to the Infuse app for playing local media, physical media rips using an Apple TV 4K. So I recently did my first video on Infuse, the Infuse app, Infuse platform in the Apple ecosystem for playing back locally stored movies, TV shows, and all of that you might have ripped from physical media. But there's a couple major feature enhancements that I would really like to see them make. Number one, while I really like the flexibility and the capability of presentation and such of the Infuse homepage, particularly in my theater room, I would like something that's a little more movie focused. And so there's a setting that I would really like to see that would allow me basically to select straight away a portion of my library, a certain page, a certain element to show on every basically fresh launch of the Infuse app. So I go down to my theater and I sit down, I turn everything on. I'm pretty much there to watch a movie. Let me launch Infuse directly to perhaps the All Movies page. So this is the homepage right here. You can see it's comprised of these different rows, my playlist, genres, a couple other things that I've specifically selected and I've ordered for how I like to see them. However, if I go straight into the movie library and I go to the All Movies, this is kind of what I want in my theater. And it's really one of the reasons that I really like the Kaleidoscope platform is the elegance of sitting down, no navigation, no selection, no nonsense. I'm in my theater, it's a theater environment, it's movie watching time. Let me just get to my movies. No muss, no fuss, no extra layers, no navigation, and give me that movie-centric view, that movie-focused view. Infuse gives you a lot of options and settings to control some of the different views that you can get to or disable them, what the views look like. But I think this like fresh launch directly to a selected specific area of the app would just be awesome. In my living room, using it's a little more utilitarian. Sure, I like that home screen. I'll navigate around a little bit more. But in my theater, to me, All Movies, movie wall. And I think they could also code it that when you launch the app, you go right here. You know, if you press back or you come out of that view, you could just get back to your home screen within a couple of clicks if you wanted to navigate somewhere else, if you wanted to get to your playlist. So number 2 has to do with editing metadata. And so here's specifically a movie details page. I've gone into A Bug's Life. I can see the backdrop. And Infuse pulls all of its metadata from TMDB, which is great. But there's lots of posters. There's lots of backdrops. There's lots of options that are available there. And I don't always necessarily like, for example, the first poster that's been voted to be the most popular one for a given movie on the site. So what I do actually, and I do this outside of Infuse, when I put a movie on my server, I go to TMDB, I get the name of the movie very specifically for how they name it to try to maximize the accuracy of the matching. But then I'll look through the posters and I'll say, okay, there's the one I like. And it might not be the first one, it might be a little further down in the list. I'll save it to my Synology NAS, I'll rename it exactly with the name of my movie file. So I've got movie.mkv and I've got movie.jpg for the poster. And when those two things are next to each other on the server, Infuse will pick up the poster that it finds if it's able to access the server, and that's what it will display instead. So at least I have the ability to customize the poster. I haven't actually tried to customize the backdrop. That's something that I'm going to need to look into. But I really wish Infuse would just build this in and put it in like the metadata selector. So as it is, on a given movie page, Infuse does give you the ability to edit the metadata. However, what this is really for is specifically for matching a mismatched title. So if it identified A Bug's Life as some other movie that's not A Bug's Life, I could go into the edit metadata and I can search for and I can select the right match. And notice here, this Bug's Life poster is like the older, the original DVD release, the green one, where I have the newer style, kind of solid or mixed color, solid back Pixar, Disney posters for a lot of my Pixar and Disney content on my server. But again, I had to do that separately. I had to go to TMDB, I had to save that file, put it on my server, and if I access my Infuse library, maybe away from my house where my iPhone or whatnot can't specifically access my server, it doesn't save those posters. They end up reverting back to the first poster that's on TMDB. In this menu, in this edit metadata option, is the perfect place. Let me pull up a list of all of the posters available, for a given piece of content from TMDB, and let me pick the one that I like. And then Infuse should save the reference to it, sync that as the metadata through all of my devices, and I don't have to go grabbing the movie poster manually, separately. And you could do that for the backdrop as well. A lot of movies have multiple backdrops on TMDB. Maybe this isn't the one you want. You could do the same thing. Let me browse the backdrops. Let me select the one that I like. You save the index to it or the reference, Infuse, and then that's the one you show me on a movie details page or in different areas of the app where a backdrop might be used. And I'll kind of do a little bit of a 2B, but if Infuse wants to get even kind of, I would say, cooler along the lines of metadata in general, there's more that they could do here. Zapiti's starting to do some things, and other library interface apps are starting to do some things with video backgrounds and motion and playing the theme song, the title theme song of the movie. Even iTunes itself does that. It would be awesome right now on the movie details page for Aquaman to hear the introductory score of the film. So 2, customization of metadata in a couple of specific ways. 2B, let's really start expanding the metadata and information and presentation of the movies with that. So the third one, the feature that we need most, the most technical to make this app just absolutely fly and close doors from a technical perspective, is the ability to bitstream audio. Bitstream high definition lossless audio, particularly Atmos and DTSX. Notice Aquaman here has a Dolby Atmos soundtrack in the MKV file that I made. Shows up as True HD 7.1, and if I play this back in my 7.2.4 theater space, I'm going to get 7.1 PCM. So Infuse does the decoding of the core True HD or DTS master audio elements. If that's all you have, it'll decode to PCM. If it's Atmos or DTSX, it'll take the core and it'll decode it, output it. So you're still maintaining lossless audio if you're using this in a full immersive audio home theater environment, but you're just missing out on everything that you could get natively, directly, and such that's sitting in the files on your server. So that's less of a knock against Infuse. It's more of a knock on Apple. The Apple TV, tvOS SDK does not allow them to output audio that way. Like, for example, Plex on a NVIDIA Shield Pro does allow you to do, or of course Zapiti and Zedu and all of those types of players support full bit streaming. This is the one thing, the one technical thing that Infuse really needs, and would be one of the major reasons that if I were to add another type of local media streamer to my system, honestly, that would be the only thing that I would be looking for, I think, in another player versus just natively using the Apple TV that I'm already using with a really great app, that does so many other things well. So we really need that bit streaming. We really need the ability to get those native immersive audio, Atmos, DTSX soundtracks out of our content. So there you go. My top 3 type of feature area, feature requests for Infuse. Let me know in the comments, do you use Infuse? What do you think about it? What do you want to see Infuse do? What kind of features, capabilities do you think are necessary? Anything that you think it's lacking? Any significant areas for improvement? Sound off in the comments. I'm eager to discuss that with you. Otherwise, please do all the regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Look down in the description below for some ways to support the channel, and come on back for more home theater and AV discussion and fun.